Shalom, it's me, that as I am. But should I further say, Shabbat Shalom, family, it's me, that as I am. And Tobacor to you, good morning. If I said that wrong, forgive me, family. Once again, I'm not a Hebrew scholar, okay? None of that. But I'm coming to you today with Way Ish Lack, okay? Which is going to be Genesis chapter 37, verse 1 through 28, part of your parasha for today, okay? And we're going to touch on Yosef, okay? And the ox, okay? And the big ox, Israel, okay? Better known as our forefather. All right. Now, with that being said, family, today's Torah portion for your Shabbat is Genesis 37, 1 through Genesis 40, verse 23. Okay? But once again, I'm only doing one part. Okay? All right now, family. We all know that there is a story within a story, family, when it comes to the Torah that can also connect itself to our personal lives drastically. Okay? So it will certainly express some of those drastic situations that we may find ourselves in now here in Babylon, okay? That ties in with today's Torah portion. Okay? All right now, so in the midst of us tackling Genesis 37, we're going to key in on Yosef to include the ox, his ox, okay? And how they clearly drew the line for how we should and how we should not act within the nation of Israel. Okay? All right. What 14? Count me in.
Back to Zion, let's go. Freedom, yeah, let me get it. Freedom, I'll be his witness. Freedom, yeah, let me get it.
Okay? Did you know, family, that in Genesis chapter 37, it started one of the most talked about drama field now? Okay? Family feuds in Torah. All right. It means it was straight in your face. Ain't no hiding behind that. Ain't no going nowhere trying to find out who saw that, who didn't see that. Everybody saw that. Okay? And everybody read about it too, if you read your Torah. All right, let's continue. Displaying how the hate is real. Because you know, we can have hatred towards our brethren, family. Don't act like you cannot. Okay? We do that. Okay? All right now. And even have the plot to kill. And some of you out there in Babylon, y'all be wanting to kill each other. Don't try to act like you don't. Okay? All right. To include the jealousy that comes behind it to add fuel to the fire. All right now, so I will read a few precepts, okay, from today's Torah portion, chapter 37 of Genesis. Now, what I would like for you to do is to read along with me. However, don't admit none of these verses. Go read the whole chapter for yourself, okay? I'm only touching on certain things. All right now, let's continue. Chapter 37, verse 1 through 4, and it states, from the Torah, now, Yaakov was settled in the land where his Ab had sojourned, the land of Canaan. Verse 2. This then is the line of Yaakov. At 70 years of age, Joseph tended the flocks with his ox as a helper to the bins of his ox Isha, which is the wives now, Bilhah and Zilpah. If I said those wrong, please forgive me, family. And Yosef brought bad reports to them, to his Absalom, of them. Now, Yisrael loved Yosef, best of all his beings, okay? And he was the child of his old age, and he had made him an ornamented tunic, okay? Verse 4. And when his ox saw that their Ab loved him more than any of his ox, they hated him so that they could not speak a friendly word to him. Now, family. You know that sound familiar. How many of us have dealt with jealousy in our own families amongst those while in Babylon, okay? In this powerful beginning, we witnessed that Joseph is a hard worker, okay? And not only just that, he stands on business for his Israel, okay? All right now, known as Jacob. If Joseph saw something being done wrongly, family, such as the Ishas, he reported that, right, to his Ab, would allow his Ab to handle the issue. Now, from this act, Joseph alone had patience and diligence with the situation. Now, family, how many of us, can see an injustice being done in our face at work now, or etc. But we like, nah, let me go ahead and go in on this real quick. If I tell my boss, they ain't gonna do nothing. And if I tell my boss, they ain't gonna handle it the way they should handle it, so I'm gonna handle it for them because I know how to handle it. Justice. Okay, all right now. So that means we ain't got no patience. We ain't got no patience. But however, Joseph, he displayed how patience should be. He saw wrong, right? He took that and he sent that to his Ab, to somebody who could correct it. He didn't take matters in his own hand. He didn't do that. All right now, let's continue. All right, and he decided to trust, okay? So another thing I noticed that Joseph did not gossip. He did not gossip to anybody about what he saw. He took the facts straight to whom he needed to take it to allow his Ab to address it. Sometimes now when we see stuff going on, we don't just address it. We have to address it and then go tell somebody else about what we saw that made us address the situation from the person to the person that we saw did the thing, so we can let everybody know what we did and how we did it and all that other type of stuff. That's called gossiping. Joseph didn't do that. He saw, he analyzed, he reported all the bad things. Good job, Joseph. All right now. Furthermore, family, Yisrael was blessed by Yahweh to have a son, as is Zaquay now, and furthermore to have a son whom loved him so much, to make him a beautiful gift of an ornament, a tunic, and give him no headaches. Now, family, ask yourself, how nowadays these children out here, right? We can barely get them to listen. We can barely get them to go and find a job and do any work. Yet alone had them make us a gift that we didn't ask for and give it to us without us wanting something in return, or get us to having to have something in return put back on us because of a gift they gave us. If that makes sense, great. If it don't, it made sense when I said it in my mind. So I'm saying it out loud. Okay. Y'all know how it do. People be Indian giving. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's continue. Now, if you peeped how his own ox hated him, and you notice, right, how they said they couldn't even speak to him. Not anything. They didn't want to say nothing. They had no word to utter to him. You know that is a grudge and an evil eye towards your brethren. Which is also stated in Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18 from the Torah. And it states, you shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against your countrymen. Love your fellow as yourself. I am Yahweh. Also, Deuteronomy 28, verse 54. And it states from the Torah, the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. So, it appears to me, that is Zion, that Joseph's ox now were definitely showing signs of both of these precepts. And truth be told, some Israelites still do this to this day. Okay, let's continue. In Genesis chapter 37, verse 5 through 9, from the Torah. Give me a second. I have a drink. Y'all know. There's some good coffee too. Ooh. All right, now, let's go. Verse 5, and it states, once Joseph had a dream which he told to his ox, they hated him even more. 6, he said to them, hear this dream which I have dreamed. 7. There we were, binding sheaves in the field, when suddenly my sheaf stood up and remained upright. Then your sheaves gathered around and bowed low to my sheaf. Okay. Verse 8. His ox answered, do you mean to reign over us? Do you mean to rule over us? And they hated him even more for his talk about his dreams. Number 9. He dreamed another dream and told it to his ox, saying, look, I have had another dream. And this time the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars were bound down to me. Now, family. Some of us do understand, and we know how to read the room. All right. So, which at that time, I was guilty of not reading the room either. Okay. Now, but if someone isn't speaking to you, from the earlier precepts we read, and they couldn't share any type of wonderful news with you or tell you good morning or good night and things of that nature, what make you think that it's a good idea for you to go and tell them about a dream that you had, which actually puts you in a higher standpoint than them, and them right here towards you when they already don't want to talk to you? How's that a good idea? I don't think that's a good idea. Okay. Now, what I will tell you is this, family. Under those circumstances, don't tell nobody your dreams. Okay? Don't tell nobody your dreams. If it's some dreams that's going to be beneficial for you, to help you in the long run and make your life prosper, you got to always remember, everybody's not going to be happy for you. Everybody's not going to be thrilled about the great news that you have received pertaining to your life to increase your life, because they may be a hater. So you always got to remember that. You know what I'm saying? Kind. Now, however, in Joseph's defense, family, I will state this. He was excited of the good news that he received, right? The very vivid dream he had. So he didn't assume telling his ox now, which is his flesh, of the good news that they would be hating on him, pretty much. He didn't think that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like something good happened to one of you out here, right? Or myself, I'm not thinking about, oh man, I shouldn't tell such and such about this wonderful news that happened to me. Let me go ahead and call up my friend right quick. Let me go ahead and tell him, Yosef wasn't thinking about none of that. He was excited, All right now, so that's a great feeling to be able to do that. But just be mindful once again of who you tell it to. Please be mindful, okay? Because once again, like I stated, everybody will not be happy for you, family. Not at all. So watch. That's what you do. Watch everybody in your circle. Watch them. And if they're not in your circle, still watch them. You know what I'm saying? All right now. Let's continue. The reason being that I'm stating that is because envy and rage, those are a combination, right? And they increase hate. So if you telling somebody something like that, good things and those natures that happen to you, right? That person that you telling probably don't care if you live or die. They don't care because they don't want to hear the message, obviously, in this story right here. And then secondly, once again, like I said, it's putting them in a situation where they not out there. they down here, you know what I'm saying? They under you, you know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want to be under nobody. Now, in verse 10, you notice how Ab, which is the Israel, he handled it. He asked the question to Joseph, different questions, saying, does that mean that me, your Ima, and your ox are going to be bowing down to you at XYZ, right? The wonderful thing about that, he did not dismiss Joseph. He didn't tell, Joseph, hush, get out my face. He didn't do none of that, all right? So you got to think about how Yah communicated with Yisrael, too. He communicated with him in a dream as well. Okay, so if Yosef came to his Ab with the dream and his Ab was like, okay, I'm going to ask these questions so I get a better understanding of what you're saying to me, right? But I'm going to keep it stored in my mind, right, for the future, if it comes to pass, because it will come to pass. Ain't no if, it will come to pass. If Yahweh spoke it, it's going to be done. Okay, so he held that. His Ab held that, okay? So his Ab already knew what type of time he was on. His Ab already knew, because like I stated, if Yah came and talked to his Ab in his dream, then definitely there's a possibility, a strong possibility now, that Yah is communicating with Yosef. And that's displayed, further on in the chapters. Okay? All right, let's continue, family. Now, we're going to go ahead and move down to another significant part in our chapter, okay? But definitely, I encourage you all to go and finish reading chapter 37 on your own, okay? All right. Now, Yosef reached Shechem, looking for his ox, and he was pointing into the direction of Dothan. And I pray I said that right. If I didn't, forgive me, family. All right. So we're going to go ahead and go to Genesis chapter 37. Verse 18 through 28. And it states, from the Torah, 18, they saw him from afar, and before he came close, they conspired to kill him. 19, they said to one another, here comes that dreamer. 20, come now, let us kill him and throw him into the pits, and we can say a savage beast devoured him. We shall see what comes of his dreams. 21. But when Reuben heard it, he tried to save him from them. He said, let us not take his life. 22. And Reuben went on, shed no blood. Cast him into that pit out in the wilderness, but do not touch him yourselves, intending to save him from them and restore him to his Ab. All right now, family. So important message. Reuben stood on Exodus 20:13, Deuteronomy 19:10, and Proverbs 6:6 through 18. And I'm about to get into that right quick for you, family. And we're going to tie this Proverbs wisdom into today's Torah portion. And you're going to see how this operated with the mind process of the ox. Okay? All right now. And it states, verse 16, 6 things Yahweh hates. 7 are an abomination to him. 17, a haughty bearing. 17, a lying tongue. 17, hands that shed innocent blood. 18, a man that hatches evil plots. Feet quick to run to evil. All right now, family. Now, does it or does it not now show in this proverb scripture where the ox were actually acting out all of that? Okay? They were. They had an evil eye towards their brother. Okay? All right now, they wanted to kill their brother because of the dreams their brother had and the positions that they played in those dreams. And they wanted to spread and shed now innocent blood. Yosef didn't do nothing there. Yosef was a good kid. From what the precepts tell us, Yosef was a good kid. He was admired and loved by his Ab. He helped his Ab. He made sure wasn't nobody doing no wicked stuff behind his Ab's back. All right now. He did everything that a good child should do. So he was innocent in this situation. But yet they still wanted to be conniving. They wanted to plot. And they wanted to fulfill their vengeance of hate. Within them own self and acted outwardly on Yosef. Which ain't right at all. By far. Let's continue. Chapter 37 in Genesis. Verses 23 to 28. And 23, it states, when Yosef came up to his ox, they stripped Yosef of his tunic. They robbed Yosef. That's what they did. And they know they supposed to be robbing. That's in your Torah too. That's the law. You ain't supposed to rob. But let's continue. All right. So they stripped him of his tunic, the ornamented tunic that he was wearing. Okay. 24. and took him and cast him into the pit. The pit was empty. There was no water in it. 25. Then they sat down to a meal. Looking up, they saw a caravan of Ishmaelites, known as Muslims, coming from Gilead, their camels bearing gum, balm, and landing them to be taken to Egypt. Right, where ultimately Joseph was sold for 20 pieces of silver into Egypt by his own ox. Now, family, if that don't just tell you right there, ain't that some Thanksgiving stuff? Now, the reason I'm going to say that right there, how they going to sit there, put Joseph inside of a pit after they robbed him, and then they went and sat to a table to have a meal. Ain't that what these daggone colonists did to the Indians and stuff? They robbed them, they killed them, they beat them, they abused them, and all type of heinous acts they did against them, and then they went and said they got to sit down and have a whole meal. They did the same thing, but y'all still out here practicing their pagan holidays such as Thanksgiving. I don't know why y'all doing that. Y'all need to stop that. That's a murder, okay? Okay, so let's continue. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, family. I know good and well, y'all so better than me. Because if somebody would have thrown me in a pit, I'm screaming, help, help, help. I'm fighting and I'm screaming. Okay, because I'm not going down without a fight. Not at all. I'm not going down without a fight. You're not going to throw me in no pit and think I'm going to sit in there and be quiet. That ain't about to happen. Not me. Not bad as I am. All right. But I noticed, when I was reading that Joseph, he ain't do none of that. Joseph was quiet. He let them take everything from him. He won't fight nobody. Okay. All right now. So the reason that I am coming up with this is this, family. For the simple fact that Joseph must have had a glimpse of what already was going to happen before it happened. And he only told his ox and his ob about that one part of the dream where, the sheaves would be up, well, his sheaf would be up and everybody else would be down. And, the bowing and kneeling towards him and things like that. He probably very well was shown what was going to happen before then. Okay? So, Joseph more than likely already knew that it was going to be something drastic. This pit. That he was going to be robbed and he was going to be put in this pit. Right? And he was going to be sold. Okay? So, Joseph not only had a foreseen message from Yah, Joseph had trust in Yah. That's the biggest thing. Yahweh put him in an uncomfortable position, right? To make Joseph get comfortable with his transition. He transitioned him from the pit into Egypt, slavery, and from Egypt unto the throne. That's a transition all of its own. All right. Now, before Joseph made that transition, you got to keep in mind, family, that he too did let his own family know, hey, this is going to be happening. This is going to be happening. He probably didn't get all in depth with that dream because it probably all of that dream was not for the family. A piece of that dream was for Joseph on his own. Okay. And that piece of that dream was for him on his own was when he found himself in that pit. Okay? Because like it stated in the precept, there was no water in there. All right? So, once again, Joseph wasn't fighting when he was put in there. Okay? Joseph noticed there wasn't any water because he was down to see that there wasn't any water. There probably wasn't anything to eat either. Okay? So, 9 times out of 10, if we were in a pit and we ain't had no food or no water, we're going to start panicking. We're going to like, dang, how am I going to live? How am I going to survive? That's when that trust kicked in. Okay? That trust kicked in. He trusts Yahweh. He trusts the messages that Yahweh had for him in those dreams. Okay? All right? And they played themselves out in the rest of the Torah portion. Okay? All right, now, so in conclusion, family, I will state this. That his ox, they were his stepping stone. His stepping stone. Yahweh will put your enemy at your foot. Okay? For you to step over. And sometimes you got to step on them. Sometimes you do. Okay? Because Yahweh knows the direction that he's taking you. He knows the direction that's best for your life. Kind. And the more you trust in Yahweh, you will see at the end of the day, everything ties back up for his glory only. Kind. Yahweh gets the glory. He gets the glory when Yosef is on the throne. Yahweh gets the glory when Jacob remembered that, hey, Yah came to me and spoke to me in the dream. So he's probably doing the same thing, if more, with my being. Okay, Yahweh gets the glory when he shows how the ox acted toward their own brethren. So they can be a mark and an example of how us as Yisrael is supposed to be to our own brethren. Jacob also had what? The wives, the Ishas, Bilhah and Zilpah. They was probably doing, well, no, they were doing something bad. And Joseph had used what he saw and took it back to his Ab. So in that situation, Yah got the glory. Yah got the glory when Joseph sat there, he said, okay, I see what you're doing, right? I'm going to go ahead and let my Ab know so my Ab can handle it. Okay, so Abba Yah put Jacob in a position over Joseph as his Ab, right? And Joseph trusted his Ab enough to come to his Ab with the issue versus handle it on his own. So Yahweh got the glory in that too. All right, so we all can learn something from Joseph. All right, first thing first. If there's something that you cannot handle, the same way that Joseph took his situation that he saw going on behind his eyes back to his Ab to handle it, is the same way you take your situation that you're going through to your Ab to handle it. Everybody out here in the world, we're going to come across somebody who is going to be like an ox in this wonderful and beautifully made story of Joseph. All right, they're gonna have an evil eye towards you. They may plot to kill you. XYZ. All right, any type of heinous things. They may try to do those things towards you. So we're all going to be able to, have a moment where we're going to transition from that pit into Egypt into sitting on the throne. That throne don't got to be how it was in Joseph's story. It don't got to be like that. Your throne could be work. Your throne could be amongst your family. Your throne could be walking outside, meeting a stranger. Anywhere can be your throne because you're elevating. You're transitioning from point A to point Z. It's all a transition. All right. And the only way we're going to be able to get the successful transition that we want is by making great choices. And our first great choice starts with listening to Yahweh. All right. Because he does send you messages, family. He does. You see how he did Joseph? You see how he did Jacob? All right now. So, family, what we can learn, right, once again from Joseph, is how Yahweh communicates with us, how vivid his plans are for our lives, even when we cannot see them clearly. Trust Yahweh wholeheartedly. If he shows you something, take heed. And ultimately, beware of those among you who are out to destroy you. Shalom, Barakah.
Zion, no root girl. Back to Zion, Abba's girl. Back to Zion, no root girl.